afternoon, everybody. Well, I usually have my man Mike Lauer sitting next to me. He calls me gray hairs, but luckily for me, I don't have that this weekend. Thank God.
Don't
Thank
worry,
God.
I'll call you many other names.
Yes. Al, he's going to be your problem on the bus trip tomorrow down to DC.
I have to run that bus too, so if he gets out of line, I get to kick him out.
Yeah. You know what? He might be like that fat kid on the back of the bus that throws a peanut butter jelly sandwich at you. Just like
I'll eat it. I'll eat it. Don't tell me twice. I'll eat it.
No. I know Mike's gonna have a good time tomorrow, and I know he's gonna be filling in for Diego on Monday, the Sully Squad. But listen, I am with my brother Chuck. Chuck, what's going on, buddy?
What's going on?
And now, of course, I'm with the legendary my pops, Dad, Chuck from the Northeast. What's up, Dad?
Doing good, son.
And the man producing the show does a great job as always, my man Big Al. What's up, Al?
What's going on, boys? Good day to be alive.
Yes, it is. Look, we have a Phillies team to dive into. We have Eagles discussion. We have Penn State going on. But before I do that, this week, Devereaux sports family took a hit this week. One Mackay Clemens of our own has passed on. He's helped the Devereaux sports family with me personally. He contacted me with guys like Sean Riley, assistant basketball coach at Villanova. The kid's really a big fan of the show, and I'm gonna miss this guy because I watched this kid go from a little kid to a grown man of a father, and now he's no longer gonna be on with us no more. But I know he helped me out big time. I know he was a big fan of the podcast. I know he loved talking MMA. I know he loved talking basketball. He really helped out the Devereaux sports family, connecting, especially when coming as far as basketball. He really helped us out, meeting some great people. So Makai, you're going to be truly be missed, my friend, and I love you, buddy. All right,
God bless.
God bless you. So with that being said, you guys seen it tomorrow. Tuesday will be his funeral. So if anybody's in wants to go check it out, please do so. Like I said, great kid. I love him. With that being said, though, listen to warm things up here. Let's talk about those Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia Phillies last week were in Atlanta getting thumped for 3 straight days. Got the first time in a long time they got swept. And then they got a little bit of more of a wake up call when they gave up 18 runs to the Blue Jays at home. So since then, this team's been on a 3-game winning streak, winning past 2 games by 1 score differentials of a 4-3 victory and 1-0 victory. Ranger Suarez playing a lot better. And then last night, my son and I, Angelo, go down to Citizens Bank Park, thanks to my man Al here, hooking it up.
Glad I can help.
We go to a hit parade because your Philadelphia Phillies start thumping yesterday. They start thumping the Braves, which I had to I had to shake my eyes and open them and realizing, wow, this team is looking good. Because I wasn't expecting this. At first, when I even looked at the lineup, I saw Schwarber, Hoskins, and Bryce Harper leading off. And to me, that was scary because that's 3 easy outs for me. I shook my head at the lineup. Usually that's scary some. And then the bottom half is where the small ball came in. But no, the player of the day last night was one Rhys Hoskins, almost hitting for the cycle. He had a single, he had a double, he had a home run. All he needed was that triple, and he was in. But however, thank you, my man Chris. Yeah, look, listen, they played very well baseball. Again, small ball baseball. That's all you need to do. You took care of business, 9-1. Everyone looked good. Like I said, Rhys Hoskins, Matt Verling's been hitting the ball well. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Alec Boehm, we know, is becoming a beast for this team. He's been your most consistent bat. JT, everything looks good. But there's one little caveat that's a little scary, and it's number 3 from an MVP caliber player last year. He was the MVP. Has not been hitting the ball well at all. And it's scary some. Will he catch on? Maybe. I don't know. I hope that he does. We all know, Al knows, as soon as something goes wrong, I'm the first one to bite my nails. And
He already fired Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
He's got the trade in the works knowing this guy.
I started, pretty much Al's got to give me the binky already, the jam in my mouth, because I'm going to start crying soon. Because this guy has not catch anything. He hasn't done anything as of late. And,
30. He's 3 for the last 31. I think he's
and
at
only
this point.
6 home runs of the season.
Yeah.
So
Well, he also didn't play for 2 months, but
right.
yeah.
Yeah. So will he get hot? Like my father-in-law told me, relax, calm down. But the postseason is only around the corner. And Dad, like you and I discussed yesterday, we can't be playing cold, especially if you're going to be in that wild card spot. You only get a 2 out of 3, 3 shot. And you and I discussed maybe they should look in another direction. Maybe they should call somebody. We don't know, but we can't have inconsistent bats at this time of the year. And look, last night felt great. Cold weather, Phillies are hitting well. And
Aaron Nola.
Aaron Nola,
That was
put
one
up
guy.
8 Ks.
Yeah,
And so, to me, I was just like, wow, this is not the Phillies baseball that I was expecting. This is not, like I said, it felt good last night. Like I said, the K rate was up from Aaron Nola. The hits were there. It felt like, and I know people are going to get on me, it felt like 08 baseball to me. It felt great. So, Chuck, I'll go to you first. What did you take away from the Phils?
I thought, first of all, I was surprised that Aaron Nola showed up in a division game. It was late in the season. The game's on the line. I thought he would
Cold game.
Yeah, cold. I
Cold?
thought he would have folded like a $2 bill. I really do, but he didn't. He pitched 6 shutout innings. Reese Hoskins drove, as you said earlier, he drove in 4. He had the big 2-run home run. I mean, it wasn't what I expected. I expected them to continue to slide down and once again for the same time like they've been doing for the last 4 years, lose again, and that's what I expected. And believe it or not, I was shocked. I was surprised they beat the Braves. Once they got smoked by Toronto for a couple of games and lost last weekend, I thought for sure it would be over.
Yeah, and first of all, Chuck, I don't know if there was a dead crow around here because you're going to eat a lot of it today. You're
What?
Yes, because you know why?
Why?
And we're going to get in that later. A lot of Jalen Hurts talk. You were on the train of throwing this guy off the team immediately last year, and now Aaron Nola is starting to play well. And now, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of crow for you to be eating.
Are you going to be sharing that crow on the Nola talk?
Yes. I might have to take the neck of the bird, and I use it on. Like,
wow, where's Mike when I need him?
I've always said Aaron Nola stinks.
Yes.
And Aaron Nola's overrated.
Yes.
I'll say for this, give the guy credit. He proved me wrong yesterday.
Yes.
I give the guy credit where his credit is due. I still need to see more, but hey, I'll give the guy credit.
Here's my thing: is they use the term overrated, and if he's rated as a number 2 on a team, to me he's rated. He's not over under. That's where he should be. He's a solid 2 on a team.
Really?
He, in my eyes, is not an ace. He can toss like an ace.
Yeah.
At times, he can look like an ace at times, but he's a 2 or a 1B on a maybe lesser of a team.
I've always thought he was a 3. Honestly.
Well, this is like I said. I know you did, and
I think Zach Eflin stinks too.
Well, listen, and it might have done him a solid for putting him in the bullpen on Friday, and because look, he gave you 3 innings. He came out 3 Ks, which is fine. But Dad, I'll go to you. What are you taking from Aaron Nola?
What from yesterday? Like you guys are saying, like Al said, sometimes he looks like an ace, sometimes he don't. I was surprised because, like, and you were just saying, and Chucky, the guy who folded last night was the Atlanta starter,
right?
Because they got tagged. What did he get tagged for? Like 7 runs before their manager took him out.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was trying to get his 20th win, right?
Yeah, and right.
Or was that the guy today? I forget. No, yeah, it was just last night. Yeah. Which is not something you see this day and age anymore in baseball.
Never. You never see a 20 game. Like Steve Carlton did it all year in and year out. Guys like Seaver and all the great pitchers of the past. They were in the game. But it's a good thing to see for Nola. Like you said, Pat, the playoffs are looming for them. Their magic number is 9 now.
Mm-hmm.
So you need him to be on. If you get into the playoffs, you're going to need him. The other part that's shaky is Bryce Harper. Because even like John Kruk was talking about, you don't know what's going through his mind. Hopefully, he can heat up before those playoffs start.
And like you said too, Dad, like you can't have the guy sit because you're paying him max money.
They'll never sit him.
And but to me, I wonder if the injury has something to do with it. Here goes our man Sheldon
Absolutely.
Kilrain. Goes, "What's up, guys? Hopefully, this is a new September. Last night was a good game." Yeah, I agree, Sean. It was a hell of a game. And you can get Sean, by the way, on the Silly Squad. Yeah, and I that's what I'm saying, Sean. Like it was look. You took care of business against the Braves. Like I said last week, had you pulling your hairs out because you got swept. You got swept in Atlanta. However, we're home now. And like I said, I think that losing to the Blue Jays was a wake up call. You gave up 18 runs. Rob Thompson's probably getting questioned if he's the right guy for next year and all this other stuff. But like I said, you can't be playing that way. But look, last night was a perfect game for this team all around. Defense. If you guys saw that play from Reese Hoskins when he made that play
that-
of the first, that dive and
Diving
grab,
grab,
and he looked, he was the player of the game. This is the Reese Hoskins that we need. And
Yeah.
this is the Reese Hoskins you're going to get. Not every day.
no.
Listen, I think Reese Hoskins is Reese Hoskins. I think Aaron Nola is Aaron Nola. This is what you're going to get. I think they're very good pieces. I believe Nola is on a good contract for a good 2 in my eyes. Reese is going to be due, I think, next season. Or the season. I forget how they restructured something this year. Whatever. But the point is, if you keep him on the cheap, fine. Reese is good for what he is. Am I signing Reese to some big time contract?
No, not at all. And undoubtedly, you were saying too, like the Braves defense was sloppy yesterday. They were making
They
some
were
errors.
bad.
It was looking out, dropping balls. Couldn't get stuff off the warning track. It was all ugly all around.
That pitcher walked about 5 guys.
5. He gave up a bunch of sack flies
Yeah,
yesterday.
he was not 100% himself. So
Right.
it's interesting. It's an interesting situation, and if you look at it this way, if they could play well today with the 405 start, right? If they could play well today and take the W here, tomorrow looks good for us. Because remember, the Braves have no off day on Monday. They go right into New York to play the Mets. They are
Wow.
trying. They are trying to salvage something. So maybe they're going to want to win tonight. Like you're going to see an all-out Braves game tonight.
Yeah.
You're going to want to fight it because they're going to want to win this to keep themselves within a game or 2 behind. They don't want to keep falling behind the Mets.
Right.
You
know?
figure the last 2 games, the Phillies beat them 1-0 the first game and shut them out, and they only scored 1 run yesterday.
Right.
But
So they had 1 run in 18 innings of baseball.
the hardest part to me is the Phillies can only lose. You got to win 9. I think you have 12 left. So you can really only lose 3. So if you
Right.
lose, you got the Astros as your final series. You got
Oh, yeah.
Chicago. I mean the Cubs, and you got the Nationals. The Nationals and Cubs you should be able to beat.
Yeah.
And then again, you can't have any slip ups. So the Phillies have to win tonight.
well,
We also have to look at every game. This is playoff baseball right now.
Yeah.
I don't
Every
care
game's a
it
game,
may
yeah.
not be the official playoffs, but this is playoff baseball for everyone.
It's
Right.
pennant
Each game
race
counts.
baseball.
The Cubs might be out of it. The Nats might be out of it, but they're going to want to make sure you are paying for it.
Yeah, right.
So we can't look past, but we have to
No.
play every game
Yeah.
like that. And I keep telling people, I mean, I think we forget sometimes, that let's go back to the most recent run for the Phillies was 2007, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Outside of 10 and 11, this was not easy. We are at the
Mhm.
same record we were
Yeah.
in 2008 today
Wow.
at the same time. It's not any different.
Right.
So we just forget about that because you
Right.
know why? Then you go into, and we all remember the playoffs and Shane's big hit and Matt Stairs' big hit, and then beating the Rays. I mean, I was at every one of those games. I know. So it's hard to remember, September. You don't care about September. When we think of 08, we think of October.
yes.
Right.
But we don't remember that this is what baseball is. This is. I talked with Matty B last night. I was on the show with him.
Mhm.
It is a marathon, and we're gonna nitpick everything. As fans, we have every damn right to do so, but we got to remember we're not out of it. But we got to keep fighting each game like it is literally our last.
Right.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Al, because you had to fight every tooth and nail with this, and like our man Adam just said, the Bryce Harper starting out slow. It is. It's like he's got to restart all over again, and and he just alluded to you got Kyle Gibson on the mound tomorrow. Ouch. Hey, listen, if the team's got momentum, he should. And I'm being optimistic here. Hopefully, he could play well. You got Bradley Fulter on the mound today. Hopefully he plays well today. You're going against what's his name here? Well, I have him down here. You're going against what did I had him written down. Who are they playing against? Who's he facing off today? I just had his name
I
written
didn't have it in front of me.
down. I mean, I'll
Somebody on the Braves team. Let's go with that.
But he's 19-5. He's got the most wins in the MLB. So it's not going to be an easy.
He's the guy who's going for the 20 wins. It wasn't last night. It was the guy tonight. Yeah, I knew it was one of them. I wasn't sure. They were going for the 20 wins tonight. The 20th win, I should say.
Yeah.
Which I said, like I was saying with Dad earlier, I said that's not something we see often anymore. It's just it is what it is, and he's going to want this, so he's going to have that going for him. The Phillies hopefully aren't smelling themselves, and compliant with complacent with what they had from last night. Because right now I said to you before when they started struggling, if they split 3 out of 3 between the Blue Jays and the Braves, we're doing anything this 50 or 500 or better in this 6 games. We're doing okay.
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to kind of direct our destiny at that point. So we're already there. We lost 1 to the Jays. We took 2 from the Braves. We already got our 3. So now, not to say it's cherry on top, but hey, put a little foot on the throat now.
Yeah.
So this isn't just like the Braves were let down and didn't show them that we're not going to go into a playoff series if we win and just be tossed around.
Right. And now you now this first, and I had to look him up real fast. It's Kyle Wright today. He's got Kyle Wright. Like I said, he leads the league and wins 19-5. But but you alluded to this is playoff baseball right now for us because you got.
They're trying to make the playoffs.
They're trying to make the playoffs.
Right.
Milwaukee's 2 games out. You have, the Padres were a half game out of that second wild card spot. So look, it's going to be a dogfight to the end. It's literally going to be a dogfight to the end. You have to start playing better baseball. Like I said, hopefully the unsung hero of Bradley Fulcher continues today. The fifth round draft pick out, 2015 starts, doing his thing.
And one thing is to think about here because something. I was on the post game, the Titans final with Matty B. Not this game, but the game before that, I was on there with him, and he said to me, he goes, who do you have in your rotation, and does Falter make the rotation for you?
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I said, absolutely. And
Yes.
he goes, really? I'm like, until otherwise, why not? I mean, it's all about who's hot. I mean, if anything, last year's World Series championship with the Braves, a few years ago with the Nationals, what did that show you? It didn't matter about who was good in the beginning of the season or where they were doing in the beginning of the season. It's about who got hot and when and at the right time.
Absolutely.
Because like you guys were talking about Harper. Here's Harper. Of all the guys, I'm not worried about getting cold. It's Bryce Harper. Right now, you can see at the plate, he's trying to force square pegs, round holes.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to hit for power, but his power's not there. He just needs to do what Matt Vierling's doing, what Bryson Stott's doing, bat on ball, old school baseball, keep it in play.
Hit it where they pitch it.
Yeah, and he did it last night. He didn't get on base, but he got us another
Sack
ribby,
fly.
and that's what you need
Right.
from him. The rest will come. The power will come back. Okay,
Right.
And it's kind of cold out, so I'm sure that hand stings when that bat hits ball.
Yeah.
So he's not getting that power, and all he's doing is blooping out to center field. He needs it. Here's my thing: is they asked me, would you sit him or Schwarber at this point? I said, not for the Brave series. You're not doing that for the Brave series.
Right.
Maybe Cubs, most likely the Nationals.
Right.
Take a breather. Let some of these young guys come in. Your what's it? Gunthries, Sands.
Oh, their young guys have held up the ship this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, there's a good amount of games that we would be out if it wasn't for that bottom third of the lineup. Maton, Vierling.
Alec Baldwin has been surprising.
Who moved up? Bryson Stott's in there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bryson Stott's on paper, his numbers for the whole year don't look wonderful. But if you look over the last, 30 games, he's like batting 290 something. Like, I mean, that's what.
Now it's what you said.
Yeah.
When you get hot at the end, that's the whole thing. I don't care what sport it
The
is.
Nats were one of the worst teams in the division.
Yes.
In the first half of the game first half of the season when they won. The Braves weren't too much better.
Right.
Right.
When they won, it's just that's what 162 games is a lot, but it gives you a lot of chance for parity.
Right.
Right. And you mentioned you said this best. Like, why am I going to have again? Why have Thorne in that starting, like when we get to baseball, playoff time. Why have Thorne at in the starting lineup? I want Fulter. Fulter deserves it.
Yeah.
I want to keep him there. I want to keep
They should have Thorne in the bullpen.
Thorne.
He is.
Thorne
It's-
should be in the
Right now,
bullpen.
it's like it's a tandem between him and Wheeler. Why they're rehabbing Wheeler?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to pitch a full game just yet. Maybe another game or two. So right now, I think Matty B calls him Wheeler guard. Yeah, it's kind of like yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, I want him in the bullpen. Keep him there because he gives you what 2 innings, 2-3 innings. That's what he's good for, and after that, he's cooked.
It's basically Vince Velasquez.
Oh boy. So you.
Well, I think your Vince Velasquez is Kyle Gibson.
Yeah.
I think he needs to go. And that's the thing is, I think he's going to be your odd man out for when it comes to the postseason.
What's up, Philly fan?
You might throw him into into the bullpen at most.
Mike's ready to eat you up today. He is.
I already said it earlier, Mike. If you weren't watching the show, come on.
Yeah, Mike's ready to eat you up because the last time the three of us did a
I
show.
gave the guy credit for crying out loud.
Oh man.
Don't get started.
I mean, Mike's probably driving, working today to make his deliveries, wanting to be in here. He's probably kicking him, pulling his leg hairs out right now, wanting to get in here with you and I. Probably want to give
leg hairs.
Yes. He wants to give us the old bushwhacker double knock, headbutt right now. The old Three Stooges slap, because he's probably gonna say, "Yeah, I know I was right." And here comes our good old Mets buddy.
It's a good time to be a baseball fan. Philly and Mets Nation have united. Mets fans are rooting for the Phillies, and Phillies fans are rooting for the Mets.
I'm not. I don't care about you Mets fans. I don't. Get away from me, you roach.
But remember to subscribe.
Yes, but hit that subscribe though. But listen, again, it's good for these guys. Like I said, I'm really happy for Rhys Hoskins because he is what he is. Him and Nola are good pieces. Like you said, like Al said, the other pieces around him have been playing better. Matt Verling, Bryson Stott, those guys have been playing really good small ball. And just look, I thought once Nick Castellanos went down and he was 16 in the league and in hitting, I thought we were going to lose a major piece, but no, it's not. It's been better. The hitting's been okay. It's like that said, it's been holding up their end of the ship. So that's what you need. We just need Harper to get hot, and maybe he gets hot in the postseason. Who knows? But
that would be beautiful.
But you don't want him being the reason you're out of the postseason either.
No,
because then
I don't think. Listen, I don't think Bryce Harper gets you out of the postseason. At the very least, when Bryce Harper comes off the bat, even with his struggles as an opposing pitcher, you are respecting him because at any second, at any moment in time, like I said, I'm not worried about it. If all the guys getting cold right now, the one I worry least about would be him.
Yeah, but he like I said last night, and look, last night doesn't happen often, and I'm glad it did. But like I said, I look at the first 3 batters, and I'm like, those are easy outs. Those are usually Kyle Schwarber struggled
until
last
one
night.
Until one moment, until one day, until one at bat.
So let me again. This always comes back to square one. Are you guys okay with Kyle Schwarber being your leadoff guy? He has the most second. I think he's second or third in Leo's with the most strikes. However, he's second with the most home runs.
absolutely.
I want to adjust that for me, and I'm just talking about my opinion. I want to adjust that lineup. I want to adjust where I can. I want Bryson Stott, or I would put Matt Verling or Alec Bohm in that leadoff spot.
Well, you know what it is too. The National League has changed with having a designated hitter. Like years ago, when you didn't have one, you always had like a speed leadoff guy. But now, because you have all hitters, you don't know when Schwarber comes up. Like we're just talking, you got the young guys at the end of the lineup, and that's who's getting on base. So he's getting chances to knock them in. It's almost
it's the first AB at this point that matters for the leadoff at this point.
Right.
Like Dad's saying, after that, the odds is not always going to be the first guy at bat unless it just ends that way. But that means they're going 1, 2, 3. Like they're having 1, 2, 3 innings left and right.
Right.
So So Veerling gets on base or Bryson Stott's on base. So now we don't matter as much. Is this the future? No.
No.
Are you gonna get used to it? Buckle up because it's what it's probably gonna be until the
Yes.
next season.
I agree. I think this is your lineup from here on out. I might not agree with it, but it's Rob Thompson's call at the end of the day. So Chuck, I mean, how about you? What are you feeling? What do you feel about this lineup?
I think the lineup. I'm not as worried. Like Al said, I'm not as worried about Bryce Harper as maybe you are. I think that eventually, look, the best players will. The cream always rises to the top. I feel like they'll do their thing when it comes time. They held on that long without him for 2 months. So I think that when the postseason comes, or as it's getting closer to the postseason, I think you'll still see Hoskins, Vierling, different ones step up at different times. I think they'll carry the team. They're not what I worry about. I worry about the pitching more than anything.
Right, and just like Sean says here, imagine Rob Thompson has recommended that Castellanos get some at bats in the minor leagues before returning to the majors. So look, man, I need
What do you do
Castellanos.
with him? That's the hard part. What do you do with Castellanos? That country can play.
Yeah,
Gunther's not going to be here for the
no,
postseason. I mean, that's just what it is.
it is right.
He's not here. I'm trying to think. Sands is definitely not here. There's just the expanded roster of those two spots. Once they drop him back down, he is not going to. I mean, unless this guy's putting 3-4 hits a night at a game, it'll be a snowball's chance in hell that he makes a roster for the postseason.
Yeah, and I look right. He's got unless someone else gets hurt again, he's not. He's going to be out. So if you want to complete the if you want to compete with the Mets and Braves, then sign DeGrom 5 years, $45 million a year. He wants more than Scherzer. Let's get the owner to spend some more again, like Duncan Sailor. Look, like a drunken sailor. Look, man.
That's a next season thing.
Yeah. So again, I'm not.
Listen,
and
no disrespect to DeGrom, he is a dominant pitcher when he's healthy and he wants to be, but that's a big if. In this world.
Again, if so, but one thing I feel like, and I said this with Mike, I think the MLB World Series championship is going to go to that NL East. I just think the NL East is so dangerous. I mean, with us, the Braves and the Mets, I think we are the toughest division right now, just with the three franchises heading into the postseason. It was for years the NL West. I think it's shifted to the NL East now. And like I said, I think if what I just saw the current playoffs format, I think we get the St. Louis Cardinals, the Padres would get the Atlanta, and then the winner of those two would get the Braves. That's just what we want, or get the Mets, and we would get the Dodgers. That's what we want because in hindsight, we've beaten the Dodgers on the West Coast. We've beaten the Dodgers here. You want that to happen. You want that format to play out, and you want one of the two at the end. Hopefully, the Phillies will get together and build that momentum in the postseason. Look, I'm just being optimistic. I don't think they make it no more further than the second round. But because to me, you still haven't answered to the Mets yet. That's
the thing I like is for the first time in a lot of years, the Phillies have a farm system. That's what's helped them out this year.
They
brought
good point.
young guys up.
Make a good
they
point.
never had that before. I mean, for years they haven't had.
And we've all poo-pooed the bullpen, or not the bullpen, the farm system. They have nothing. But they're bringing guys up that we didn't know much about, and they're contributing. And my partner on my show, Joe Sheeran, pointed that out. He goes, we've been one of the easiest things for Phillies fans to say is like, oh, he killed it. They killed the farm system, but farms, and maybe this is the changes that they made are already starting to be seen. So real quick, let's run through the ads. I'll run through them real quick because we got Kyle calling in about 5 minutes or so.
Okay.
Here we go. We'll start with Dolan's Bar, the most Delco bar right here, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park, Delaware County. Always an amazing place to go. Great food, great time. Amazing wings that they only have available on game day. So if you're going to go watch an Eagles game, you're going to go to the Dolan's Bar. You're going to have a great time. You never know what ex-Eagle's going to be hanging out there or something. It's a good time. If you get yourself in a car accident, work injury, personal injury, criminal law, cherryinjurylaw.com, the Cherry firm. David R. Cherry is your man. 610-565-0300. The number again is 610-565-0300. And like Pat said earlier, we are going to be, a lot of us from the EOP network will be heading down to Washington with a lot of guys from a lot of the different networks throughout the area who cover the Eagles on a bus trip with 1,200 plus people.
Wow.
1,200 people are going to be part of our own bus.
Wow.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's what's going on. So it's going to be a good time. If you
I hope they stick Mike underneath the bus. Okay.
So great trips. You want to go to Arizona? You want to go to Indy? For you Irish fans, the Indianapolis game will actually. There's a package where you can go to the Notre Dame game on Saturday and the Indy Eagles game on Sunday. So there's a lot of different cool packages. They also have home tailgates. And don't forget, every Eagles game day live between the Pay the Lines and Edge of Philly Sports here, pregame, halftime show, postgame show. And next Sunday, we'll be live
Yes.
on location at South House in South Philly for the pregame, postgame, and halftime show. And I believe, I'm not 100% sure if it's guaranteed yet, but Dibes from the Pay the Line will be in the house to meet for the first time. So it'll
Oh,
be great.
nice.
Yeah, so he's coming all the way down from his neck of the woods.
My question is, how did Mike Laro get a spot before me? That's a violent no. I love Mike Laro. He's a very good, knowledgeable cat. I'll be down there. I'm gonna go check that out, dude. Like I said, it's a good
Good
stuff.
time. Food and drink there.
Yeah,
It's good.
I'm ready to
And
eat.
nothing
and talk
better
some
than
music.
wings in football.
Yeah, nothing better than talking food and birds. I love talking. But anyway, listen, let's get ready to talk some Eagles football. Let's shift gears a little bit here because we have Quinn calling in a little bit. But Chuck, again, I think there's a dead crow on the side of the road that you, my friend, are going to have to eat like a chocolate cake.
What, on Jalen Hurts?
On Jalen Hurts.
All right.
Because you, my friend, and
The guy had a good no, but he had a really good half last week on Monday night. He showed the ability to throw the football. The second half they didn't do anything other than it was the defense and Darius Slay. But they had to put their foot on the throat more, and you have to bury the Vikings more. Buffalo looked like more of a everybody says the Eagles look like a complete team. I agree to a point. Buffalo looked like a complete team. They destroyed the Titans. So look, I want to see Jalen Hurts. But I want to see Jalen Hurts 60 minutes of football, not 30 minutes. He had a good game. He made throws that I would like to see him make. But in the second half, the offense went quiet. That was part of him, and that was part of Shane Steichen. So.
Well, here's my thing: is I will disagree with it. He had only half a game. They changed the play calling. They didn't want any big. They're not going to throw 30, 40 yards down the field in the half when you're up that kind of score at that point. I would have liked. Listen, nobody else would have liked to see them score more points.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, they were playing prevent offense. You know what I mean? They're just
playing not to lose.
They're playing not to lose. They're making sure they're keeping the ball in front of them, pounding the rock, killing the clock, all that kind of stuff. That's what they were doing, and I think that's kind of what we saw. So I don't think it was Jalen Hurts kind of like stop playing football. I just think they said stop getting yourself in the way of getting hurt or hurting the team with a big play. So here's my thing. I have never been on the Jalen Hurts train myself. I never was on or off. I was just kind of very watching, see what happens. Yeah, as of right now, the first couple games, he's looked really good. Am I ready to anoint him? No. But it's consistency. How do they do from going behind?
Right.
How do they do from adversity? That's what I want to see from the Eagles. But you can't complain with an 84% completion percentage in a Monday night game against a very stout Vikings defense usually.
Yeah. So like I said, for my observation from Monday is, look, man, he was, and to Chuck's point, he was very accurate on Monday. He was hit all of his throws. He hit Dallas Goedert on wheel routes. He was hitting, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith over the middle, which was fine. Even in double coverage, he was fine. He was, making those tight window throws to AJ Brown. He looked very good. I mean, and then he silenced the critics because everyone said he didn't have that arm, and he throws that deep bomb to Watkins, and you saw he did the stance like this. Now what? He's done everything right, and then he punches it in, and he catches it on his own. By run the rock into the end zone. So he's answered a lot of our questions, and look, you can't dispute what he's done. And now he's in the. I know it's very early, but already they're talking about MVP caliber players, candidates, and he's an NFC East and NFC Player of the Week. So again, he's done everything well. I mean,
as of right now, the Eagles look like the best team in the NFC.
Yeah,
right. I would admit the Bills. Look, there's probably
and Tampa Bay too.
I would put them
Yeah.
above Tampa Bay right now.
I'm with you.
They're not 100%. They're a little shaky. And you know what? I'm going to ask you this. He reminds me of that old school player, Jalen. That's what I like about him. At the end of the game, he could have been patting him. He could have torn his shoulder trying to pat himself on the back. But when he kept saying, you know what? No, there's still work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
When there's still like that's
Right.
what do you
That's
think
good.
about
He's
that?
on, there's a couple things that I seen that I liked a lot. Remember in that game, they could have had more points in that game, but a lot of those big plays, when we were watching it, if you remember, they kept on calling illegal man downfield
Yes.
on a ton
You're
of
right,
those
yes.
plays. The other thing is, I'll tell you what, that kid is strong, dude.
Yeah.
Did you see they showed us, like they showed his high school picture squatting 500 pounds. Then they showed his college pictures. He was squatting 660 pounds.
Yes.
I mean, for a quarterback, he's got strength. I mean, and believe that doesn't make you a great quarterback because Tom Brady's the best in history, and he's not that kind of guy. But like when they were talking about trading for Russell Wilson, to me, they're very similar, but only Jalen's younger and stronger than he
Yeah.
is.
Well, look, for a guy who knows all about Eagles football, you can catch him here live every Thursday night at 7 p.m. on Bird's IQ. We got Kyle Quinn. Kyle Quinn, what's going on, brother?
Yo, fellas, thanks for having me on today. What's up?
What's going on? Listen, I
What's going
usually have my man Mike with me, as you know, but I actually got my brother Chuck with me and my dad Chuck with me. So unfortunately, you get to deal with the Bernard bloodline here.
You're getting chucked.
You're getting
Yeah.
chucked around here.
All
Anyway,
right, I can deal.
so anyway, first of all, Kyle, what did you see from Monday night? Tell us about Jalen Hurts. What did you see from the kid?
Yeah, well, dominating performance on both sides of the ball, and specifically from Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I would say, had the best game of his NFL career, definitely his Eagles career, and we saw him check off all the boxes that we really wanted them to see. That we really wanted him to check off going into this season. It was keeping his eyes down the field, not breaking the pocket too early. And what he did, looking for those open wide receivers. He was accurate with the football. He was decisive. He was quick, and he was going through all of his reads. So it was an excellent performance out of Jalen Hurts last night. I know he had the one interception, but that was tipped off of Kenny Gainwell's hand. So not giving that one to Jalen Hurts there. He did a great job protecting the football again. And like I said, it was really the best effort I've seen out of Jalen Hurts his entire time.
Same. He looked incredible. And how about the defense side of the ball? What did you see? Because a lot of people are, tipping their cats at Jonathan Gannon. How about you?
Yeah, you definitely have to give Jonathan Gannon some credit there. They were doing some things to get Kirk Cousins off the spot, sending an extra guy. And it was really strange because Kirk Cousins is a veteran quarterback, and he looked like a rookie on Monday. It was really strange. Every single time they sent an extra rusher, Cousins was just kind of lobbing a ball up there for somebody to go get. Darius Slay alone should have probably had like 5 or 6 interceptions if he could catch the football. And then you had the one by Maddox, and then the one that was dropped out of bounds by Zach McPherson. So Cousins was, he looked probably the worst I've ever seen Kirk Cousins look, or at least in a very long time there. So definitely have to give Jonathan Gannon some credit there. Little bit of concern with how they're still not able to get pressure with just the front 4 guys. The only way they were really able to get to Cousins was if they were sending one of their linebackers or one of their safeties. So you would like to see them get a little bit more pressure with just the front 4 guys, and you would like to see Jordan Davis get a little bit more involved there. Didn't really hear his name at all on Monday, and not really much the week before that. So yeah, Gannon's defense is getting better. I think they will continue to get better as the season goes on, and as some of these newer faces start picking up the playbook and start having a better understanding of what other offenses are trying to throw at them. So I think this is just a step in the right direction for Gannon's defense, and you hope to see more of what you saw week 2 as opposed to week 1 from them.
Yeah, and like I said, the secondary looks sharp, and like you said, Kirk Cousins remains to look like, as my man Mike would say, look like a pumpkin in prime time. Because he looked like, he couldn't execute any of his plays. He only had one drive.
He's Kirk Cousins. I keep telling everybody this.
No.
He's not that good.
No.
He is a stat patter, but when it comes to big moments and playing in the game, me and Kyle talked about this on his show in the past. You call me a Kirk Cousins hater because there's good reason for it. They will not. What has any team done with Kirk Cousins at this point?
Nothing.
Right.
Gave him a fat wallet.
That's it.
You like that? But
Good
anyway,
for him. Don't help me.
yeah. So for me, Kyle, I mean, like I said, like you said, I didn't hear too much about Jordan Davis. His name wasn't getting called a lot, but however,
he was only on 21 plays too. Or 21 snaps.
yes,
I heard I had heard some stuff on over the like listening to and doing analyzation. They were saying that part of the reason why you're not seeing Jordan Davis is because the coaching staff sees that he's really not making that much of an impact in the run game or the passing game. So that's why you're seeing him limited. If he was showing more on tape, and the coaches would have him out there more, but they only have him out there on a limited basis for a reason. So for whatever it's worth, I don't know if that's true, but it makes sense.
yeah. So
Well, to me, the Jordan Davis thing. Sorry to cut you off there, but I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. Is the coaching staff doesn't really trust him yet. The question marks that we had on him going into this season were, is he going to be able to play on third downs, and is he going to be conditioned enough to play football and to be able to play a majority of the snaps? And so far, the coaching staff clearly doesn't have confidence out of it.
And that's a problem when you have him as the 13th or the 14th pick in the draft. So you can't have you need him to have a bigger impact, and that's probably why it would have been wiser to go in a different direction. Although Kyle Hamilton, that everybody wanted, didn't look so great last week against Miami either. So.
no, so
No, I'm with you. You definitely need more out of the 13th overall pick.
no, and I'm with you too. So again, now we're going to see an old familiar face. We're heading down to go see him. What are you taking from this Birds and versus Washington Commanders game? What do you want to see what do you want to see against Carson Wentz? Because I know like a lot of people, again, he looked very sloppy in that Detroit Lions game in early. But however, he was getting his wideouts involved, and I think the whole storyline is there for you to decipher. You have, the Carson Wentz want to get back at Hallie for putting the statue of Nick Foles out front. You have the guy, Jalen Hurts, who's going to take his job. All that, I think, behind the scenes. And listen, we heard his press conference talking about the Phillies. We all know he had to say that, but I think behind the scenes, he wants revenge in the worst way, and I think he's chomping at the bench for this game. All the pressure, I think, is on him. So how do you see this playing out, Kyle?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to kick Carson Wentz's ass because Carson Wentz absolutely hosed the Philadelphia Eagles in 2020. I know everyone's going to say that we're happier without him now, and I'm one of those people. I agree. But you put it this way. If you shoot me and I survive, yeah, I mean, I'm fine, but you still tried to shoot me. So that's kind of how I look at it, the situation with Carson Wentz. He left us with the most dead cap in NFL history. $33.8 million, I believe, is the number. So, yeah, I mean, we're better off now, but Carson Wentz still tried to shoot us. So, yeah, I want them to go down there and kick his ass. I think they will kick his ass because, look, Carson Wentz has some good receivers down there, and Dotson and McLaurin, and those guys can get open. But I think we have the secondary to combat that, and I think we have the secondary to make Carson Wentz hold onto the ball forever like he does and like we've known him to do. And if he does that, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to toss us some interception balls. He's going to fumble it. He's just going to do what Carson Wentz does. So I think we have a good enough matchup on defense to be able to stop the offense of the Commanders, which I do think is their best asset. Their defense is terrible. So as long as we can stop their wide receivers from running around all over us, then I think we'll be able to get to Wentz pretty easily and win this one going away.
So, Kyle, this is Chuck Jr., Pat's brother. I have the question I have for you. What's up? The question I have for you is, what effect do you think if Landon Dickerson doesn't go? Who do you think plays in his place, and what kind of impact would you think it would have on the game? And secondly, does A.J. Brown finally get into the end zone officially as an Eagle this week?
Well, so to answer your first question, Landon Dickerson, I do believe, is one of the best players we have on our offensive line. So his loss, if he is out, or if he's even banged up, that's going to be felt in some way or another. I think, to answer your question of who would slide in, I think it would be Sua Opeta. I'm not 100% certain on that. Either way, I do consider that a considerable drop off from Landon Dickerson. Now, the thing is, Washington doesn't really have anything along the defensive line that's making you say, like that's going to be a tough matchup for the backup. The best thing they have going for them right now is Montez Sweat because Chase Young's been out on the pup. So Montez Sweat's probably the best player that they have on the defensive line. So I'm not overly concerned about Dickerson's absence. I think if it were another week and we were playing a tougher D line and a tougher defense, then I might be a little bit concerned there. The only concern I have with him is that it's just kind of how quickly and randomly it popped up on the injury report. I just hope it's not something that lingers there because you want Landon Dickerson and the line to be as healthy as possible on the top end. Now, to answer your other question about A.J. Brown, I really have no idea. I'm hoping that it's going to be sort of a similar thing to last week where he's spreading the ball around. He's just taking what the defense is giving him, finding the open guys. That's the touchdown thing is probably just going to be by chance every week. It's going to be who the ball ends up going to the most. And I mean, who knows? Jalen Hurts seems to be hogging all the touchdowns for himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Just running the ball in. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure guys who haven't been fantasy are loving that. But yeah, the wide receivers are probably going to be asking for their touchdowns pretty soon. I think they're going to get them. So.
Yeah, and one thing about again, I went back and I took a little bit more of a deeper look into this, Commanders versus Lions game, and they leave the middle of the field wide open for you to do damage. You can do some damage on this Washington secondary. I mean, I think you could really take care of business, and I do see the Birds as a prediction. I think they're going to win this by a TD, maybe like a 21-14 victory. I think it might be lower and it might be higher than that. But right now, my feeling on the team is a 21-14 victory, Birds.
I got the Eagles winning by double digits as well. Just I know they're coming off the short week Monday night, but the Commanders are just not anywhere close to what the Eagles are roster-wise. I think the familiarity with Carson Wentz is going to play more to our benefit than it is to his, and I think we win this one going away. I'll say about 35-14.
Wow, you're going to the woodshed in your eyes. That's great. I love it.
Oh yeah,
Dad.
Yeah, I'm Pat's dad, Kyle. But anyway,
what's going on, Pat? Dad?
Good dad. But anyway, with Carson, like everybody's talking about, we all know he holds the ball too long. So with a guy like that, to me, Gannon should throw a lot of blitzes at him. Because when Carson sees pressure, that's when he really gets nervous and starts spitting the ball up. He fumbles. He makes bad decisions, especially when he's got a lot of pressure in his face. And to me, that's what I would do. And as far as Jalen, I would do what you just said. I would just throw it to where what the defense is giving to you. It doesn't matter which guy, whether it's A.J. Brown or Devontae or Quez, whoever it is, whoever the open guy is, that's the guy you throw to. Look, Brady won 6, 7 Super Bowls doing that. Like he didn't have no really one favorite guy. He just kept on feeding the ball all over the field his whole career.
Yeah, so that's what made him great. I mean, look, and that's what Hurts did last week. He fed that rock all over the field last week. He was, he didn't have one particular person. I mean, you saw that he hit Dallas Goedert in that wheel route. He hit A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith clearly over the middle, and even in double coverage. He looked really solid there. So, and again, like I said, you're feeling pretty good. I mean, is there anything on the Washington side, on the Washington football side that scares you at all, Kyle, about going into this game?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I think their best asset on their team is their wide receivers. So the blitzing thing, that can definitely work for you. It can also work against you a little bit if you're giving Carson Wentz real quick throws, right? If he's if they game plan for that and they got hot reads designed into it, and they're just quickly getting the ball out to Dotson and McLaurin and just carving us up, taking a second to do that, per play there, then that could work against us. But I am with you in the fact that I think they do got to chase Carson Wentz around, make him think a little bit too much, make bad decisions. On the other side of the ball there, I really have no idea how anyone in the NFL, let alone the Commanders, are going to stop this offense. I really don't. I mean, A.J. Brown, if you sell out to double cover A.J. Brown, then Devontae Smith or Quez Watkins on the other side is going to eat you up. And if you sell out for those guys, then you got Dallas Goedert over the middle who can, just rack up those yards after catch on you. And then if you're just putting everybody on the back end, and we're going to gut you up the middle. And then you got Jalen Hurts running around, and I mean, it's a brutal offense to stop. And the Commanders are not even nearly close to equipped to be able to stop Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. So, as I said, I think we're going to win this one going away.
Same.
Yes, I think the Eagles will win. I think it's like Pat. I don't think it'll be a little bit closer because Wentz is second in the league in passing right now. So I mean, although he hasn't played a secondary like ours yet, but still, I still think it's a division game. Usually, division games are played a little bit closer, a little bit tighter, and it's at home for them. So if it was here, I might go with the double digit, but I think it's going to be between 7 and 10 points possibly.
Yeah. So
Okay. Well, to your last point there, it could end up being more of an Eagles home game because of
Oh yeah, well
Right.
that's
we've
true.
seen how we fill
That is
stadium
true.
up.
That is true. That is true. Especially with Philly sports trips.
yeah, they're also going to
Yep.
look. It's going to be a sea of green down there. But look, Kyle, I want to thank you for hopping on with us. Hey, Kyle, one more question for you. What is your meal to
Yeah.
plan for down there? What do you plan on eating for this game? Like, I'm a big eater. So I'd like to know what's the meal plan? What does Kyle Quinn go with for this game?
Well, if it's a 1 o'clock game, I think the move's got to be something like wings. You can never go
Yes.
wrong with wings.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually, wings are pretty good for any time of the day, but I think specifically a nice crisp fall day, some hot wings. Come on, can't
Yeah.
beat that.
Well, listen, your old tag team partner thought it was a little bit of a nut job, John Partridge, because I told him, I said, cheesesteak is in my religion, you have to have a cheesesteak on opening day. He thinks I'm, a little bonkers for saying that. Cousin Vinny Mac thought the same thing, but once cousin Vince had some of the old A's cooking, boy, he didn't, he said, no, never mind. You can have cheesesteaks however you want, my friend. So look, one of these days, man,
Yep.
Kyle, one of these days, man, we got to get you in here and have the old lady cook for you. So, man.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, Kyle, thanks again for hopping on with us. And we'll catch you Thursday night, Bird's IQ after this big Eagles win.
You got it, fellas. Take care. Thanks for having me on. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
So, guys, once again, check out Kyle Quinn right here on the Edge of Philly Sports. You can catch on all social media platforms. Check them out. Thursdays at 7 o'clock. Great listen. Very good stuff. Last week, he had to wear a red nose. So it was pretty embarrassing, but pretty funny. So anyway, here comes Vinny Mac. Vinny, I don't know what you're saying here. I don't know.
Washington 42-7.
Yeah, well, again,
That's
I love Vinny, but I don't know what they're feeding him up there.
Washington ran a double gap blitz every matchup against the Birds on Wentz, and it flustered him. Yeah, I mean, listen, the old saying is if you rush the quarterback, even great Tom Brady gets flustered.
Yeah.
The point is, both him and Hurts have legs that get him out of that. So you saw that against Detroit Lions. They had the end, and they brought up the single high safety to play kind of like a defensive end, like they were like ankle to ankle, and they brought it.
Mhm.
So yeah, they're going to do that. If I'm going to learn from anything, I really don't know how the Vikings didn't take anything from what Lions did. But if I would look back at the Lions game, and that's where I would bring the pressure, but look at it still gave him escapability. Wentz has the same escapability, and he can throw off his back foot better than he does in the pocket. So it'll be interesting to see what Gannon brings from the pressure standpoint in this case.
And not to disagree with my old man, but like again, I pay attention to that Detroit game, and I know one thing about Carson. He actually performs better under pressure. We've seen it. You put all the pressure on him, and he doesn't get phased by you. He actually, we've seen it. Again, I know it's old news, but that Washington game, when he played against Washington, he had about 4 to 5 people trying to sack him, and then he, does this Houdini move and boom down the field. So I mean, he throws a bolt down there, so he can be dangerous. And again, Lions were bringing a lot of pressure to him, and he was executing all those passes. So yeah, and right, and here goes Vinny Mac. Curtis Samuel. You got, he's got that kid Donlin he throws to. So it's gonna be a lot tougher than say than do. It's not gonna be a day at the beach.
I think the fact that you have a divisional team that makes things a little more difficult.
Right.
You have a fact that you have speedsters on the other side, more scary Terry as they call them, is probably the better one. The other guys, Dotson and all them more track stars than wide receivers at this point, but can be dangerous. So they're probably going to have the secondary back a little further. I really hope they don't drop Reddick back like they were doing the first game. I still haven't figured that one out.
Right.
But I think Kaiser White can eat
Right.
today, and I think Dallas Goedert could be the hero of the game.
Really?
The way that they play, and they leave. And Kyle's right. I agree with him, which is not often I say this. They're going to leave that middle of the field open, so it could be tight end day.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people complained about last year. Hurts not getting Goddard involved. Well, I mean, last game he had 7 targets. He had 80 yards and I mean, no TDs, but I mean, no, I'm sorry, 82 yards. So again, he had a big day last week. Or I'm sorry, on Monday. Same thing, with again, he's like Dad said, he's rotating that ball around. He's getting people involved. You want to put your double coverage on AJ Brown, like Kyle said, fine. I'm going to go. I got the option of Dallas Goedert. I got the option of Devontae Smith. This is what and I know my man Matty B is going to rip that beautiful brown hair of his out. This is where Howie Roseman looks like a genius. Because he built Hurts. He gave Hurts all these groceries. Now he's going to be cooking with it. So, like I said, I definitely feel a big time Birds win coming in here tomorrow. Now, what's your final prediction of this game?
I don't think it's going to be a blowout for the Eagles, but I think they're definitely going to win. I think it's going to be close. Look,
single score game.
Yeah, probably.
What's the over under right now? Like 5? Wasn't it like 5.5 at one point?
Look, they're both teams.
I don't know.
Okay.
Remember, like like you said, like Carson wants to get revenge on the Eagles. Well, listen, the Eagles want revenge on Carson as well.
Right.
They're going to want to shut him down in Washington in front of his fans. And look, it's the biggest game so far of the season because it's a division game.
Right.
These are the guys you got to beat: Washington, the Giants, and the Cowboys. That's the most important games you're going to get in. Look, I'm glad they're 2-0.
Right.
But now comes a division game at their house because at the end that's where the tiebreakers are going to happen.
But even like Kyle said, is it really their house or is it the second home for the Birds?
I think I saw that they're doing something for the attendance for tomorrow to help pick the new Commanders mascot.
Really?
If there's any truth behind that, that's like the worst game you could choose.
Yeah.
We should make it a Swoop Sun.
Yeah. Yes. Out comes Mike Lauro.
Yeah.
So he looks like a perfect mascot. No, I'm messing with the guy. Like I said,
Birds minus 6.5. Right.
There you go. So again, I don't know what my man Vinnie Mac's saying. I love the guy, but I don't know what they're feeding him out there in the 422 area because he might be he get his brains marbled when he says 42-7 Washington.
Yeah, it's not going to be 42-7 Washington.
No, I don't think so. I think, like I said,
I don't think it's going to be 42-7 either way. I think it's going to get to a dogfight.
Yeah, well, again, like I said, there's a lot of storylines in this. Again, Carson Wentz is probably going to be. And here goes our man Joe Sullivan, the man of the Monday nights. He's the Birds win by 10.
I think you will get Carson Wentz turnover here because that's inevitable. I think.
I mean, he's good for
I think he's going to get at least 2, a fumble and an interception. He's good for
hope
at least
Slay
one.
is healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, check out Joe Sully at 6 p.m. right here on the EOP network. So guys, again, big game tomorrow. We're all feeling good. So let's wrap it up with paying the bill. Let's wrap that up.
All right, guys. Well, if you want to eat well, drink well, be well, go to Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue, right in Ridley Park. Great food, great time, great place. I can't say enough stuff about it. If I wasn't going to the game myself, I'd be at Dolan's Bar. And if you get hurt at work in a car accident, any personal injury, criminal law, David R. Cherry is your man. CherryInjuryLaw.com, the Cherry firm, 610-565-0300. That number again is 610-565-0300. Philly sports trips, all these away games, all these home games. They have union games coming up. They have a trip to Nashville coming up. They have spring. If you want to get your spring training tickets locked up, you want to go to Clearwater. They're putting trips for you together. They have Sixers trips, Flyers trips, even Flyers trips. right now.
And that's
They
not to the circus either.
Yeah, they got everything you need and more, and they really make it interesting, and it's affordable. Christmas is coming. I know I hate saying that like right now in September, but what a great ticket. Pick the New York game. It's a bus trip. It's only 3 and some change for a lower level ticket. All you can eat and drink, bus trip back and forth. You can't beat that. You can't go down to the link and get a lower level ticket and parking for under $300.
Right. You have to give up your arm and leg.
Yeah.
So
Bring my kids with me. I come home with less.
yes. So but like here and like you said, for you guys who want to go check out their grub, it's not your typical hot dogs and cheeseburgers.
They got them. They got those, but you get yourself a filet mignon sandwich.
Yes.
You can get yourself some mussels. They have it all. They have everything. It's not.
Sounds like my kind of food.
They have food on the bus, drinks on the bus. They have food on the 1,200 person tailgate. They literally are taking out an entire section of their parking lot. It's going to be taken up by us.
Yeah, and Al, you're feeding to the right people because the three of us can put away some food.
Well, actually, hold on one second. I have a question to that. Eagles Game Day Live is also coming at you right here to EOP Sports pregame, halftime, postgame between the Painted Lines and Edge of Philly Sports. We got you covered. Check it out. Real quick, because I have a question for you, the Bernards.
Yes.
So, Dad, I'm going to start with you. How are you a very rich man?
No.
Well, would you have been if you didn't have to feed this knucklehead?
No.
I have to ask that question. I have to ask that question because
3 knuckleheads.
that was my next question. Who is he the biggest eater of the group, or can they all put it away?
They all do real good.
How about you, Dak? Can you do well? Yeah.
I've seen him hockey check somebody, my aunt, out of a food line to get,
the apple don't fall far from the tree.
No, we were at a cousin of ours' birthday party just thinking about it's like almost like 20 years ago. And my dad just hockey checked my aunt
in this neighborhood,
right? And he put it away. And Dad will tell you. I mean, me, and my dad, and my brothers, we went down to a all country buffet, and me and Chucky were just thrown down. And
is that why they're closed now?
Yeah, the finals.
Yeah.
I used to, when me and my wife went shopping at the supermarket, we used to have to get 2 shopping carts and fill them.
Yeah,
to come home.
That was just for that dinner that night.
Yeah.
So all right, so he always asks me or whoever's on the show, what's their meal for this? What's your perfect meal for an Eagles 1 p.m. game?
What were we doing in the old house for an Eagles game? Oh my God!
There's so many possibilities.
I said you have to, not you have to make it. You have to create the menu. You give me your top 3 items on the menu.
One of them is, I say, meatball sandwich.
There you go, meatballs.
Yeah.
Gotta be homemade. Gotta be homemade. I hear you.
Mom's gonna make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
meatball and sausage.
There you go. Okay, what's your next?
You can keep on doing them. Chili. I'm a chili guy.
Winning me over again.
Keep grabbing bowls throughout the game.
There you go. And what's number 3?
It could change like hoagies.
There you go.
I
get a cold sandwich and they gotta mix it up a little. I like it.
Yeah.
What's your beverage of choice?
Me,
he was always water and iced tea.
Okay, I'm an iced tea guy.
Yeah,
myself.
I mean, he was always a water and iced tea. He would like to mix it, which tastes like vomit to me. But
he would water down the iced tea.
He would mix it like a water iced tea. It was great. For him, it was great. But like me and my brother, like we like to sweeten up. It was like Mississippi mud, so we like to make this whole big thing, and we like to sweeten it up.
You can put it in your coffee and it'll sweet.
Yeah, it was Red Bull before Red Bull.
Yeah, you know what? I was kind of like that when I was younger too, but the old pancreas couldn't handle it.
The crazy part is that I drink watered down iced tea most of it. I mean, I get a couple from Wawa, and I get the Wawa iced tea, but I only pour a little bit, and I use that that'll last me my whole route.
That's different because that's sweetened. I actually grew up on like the Crystal Light iced tea. So it was already non-sweetened. Right. So watering that down, it'd be like pee-pee water in my eyes. So Chuck, I'm gonna take it to you now. What is your menu? What were you looking at?
Oh, always wings. Wings is wings.
Like,
Oh
really,
man.
Are you
Wings?
are you the one that likes to sweat when you eat them? Or
No. My favorite is garlic Parmesan wings, and
That's a good.
my
specialty
wife
wing.
and I have actually perfected it in the air fryer. Believe it or not, So,
The air fryer is one of the greatest inventions.
I
they've
know.
come
My
in the
wife
kitchen
and
in a while.
we actually made air fryer garlic parm thighs, so it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I have one of those Blackstone grills. I
Uh-huh.
don't know if you ever used one of them. They're
Yes.
the best things they've ever invented because you can do so much things on them.
Right.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, don't matter.
Right.
But now they have ones with air fryers built into the bottom of them.
Whoa,
Yes.
okay.
I know what I'm getting for Father's Day.
Yes.
There you go.
And then my next one would be cheesesteaks.
Yeah,
I
can't go
love it.
wrong.
I'm a cheesesteak guy.
Yeah.
Now,
And then-
now, hold on. Is it homemade, ordered out? And
No.
where do you get yours
If I was
from?
going to get a cheesesteak, I would get it from Steve's. I like Steve's.
Steve, Prince of Steaks?
Yeah,
Steve?
Steve's
Okay.
Prince of Steaks,
And
yeah.
one more. You got one more item.
And then I like I'm a pizza guy. I like pizza.
Okay, where do you get your pizza from?
Tony Roni's. Me and Pat.
Oh,
did
my
I've had
gosh.
plenty of Tony Roni's. Yeah.
Johnny Ronnie's, you can get
and
some
we did,
sandwiches.
and me and Pat had the bacon chicken ranch one. It was so good.
That's a good class.
Yeah, that is.
All right, Pat. What are you doing? Pat, what are you doing tomorrow? If this is your last meal, your last Eagles game of your life, and you knew it, what are you
Oh
doing?
my gosh, I'm going out with a bang.
All right.
No, I mean, I'm first of all.
Remember, there's kids watching.
Yeah. I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna just like Chuck. I'm gonna warm up with the wings. That's just the appetizer. Then we're gonna go. I would love-
Everything with you is an appetizer if you try hard enough.
Yes. You know what I mean, I listen. I could throw it down, and then I would lead into a nice cheesesteak. Then by 3, if it's an Eagles victory now, I'm gonna hit it with some ice cream. Yeah, I'm gonna hit ice cream early.
That's a good. I like that outside of the box thing. You're like,
Yes.
so if they didn't win, what would be your dessert of choice?
I'll probably start eating some thumbtacks. But if it's a loss, I would just eat pizza. You know, I would just gobble down. Like I'd be like,
just
no
don't take
professor.
the ice cream out of the freezer. I'm just gonna eat whatever's left on the
Yes,
table.
you know what I mean. And I know the kids are picky, so there comes Fat Dad, and and I'll be taking care of business. But yeah, like I said, real fast though, me and Chucky and my dad could live this. We used to, after we tear down, All Country Buffet, we used to have hockey fights just to get in the bathroom.
Yeah. I'll say, how many bathrooms do you have in the house?
One.
Ah,
That was the painful.
That was brutal.
That was pretty. Yo, Chuck, you got 3 seconds on there, brother. I'm gonna have a problem with my back
it's
door.
not the hockey checks and the line you have to worry about. It's the bathroom line.
Yeah, it is. Get out of the bathroom. Get out of the bathroom.
Al, they used to tell me, Dad, go through every light on the way home. Don't
I don't
stop."
care if you get a ticket. Just go. So, but yeah, those are some good old times. But look, for everyone who checked into the show, I want to say thank you. Al, thanks again. Kyle Quinn, thank you for calling in. We love chatting with you about some birds. Guys, check out Al Wednesday nights at 8:30 right here on Edge of Philly Sports. Dad, I know you're a YouTuber. Check out Al at 8:30, Wednesday nights. If you're not at church or after church, you can't get to sleep because mom's keeping you up and having doing chores. Here goes Al. Check him out. He's a good guy to listen to. Him and Joey Sheeran, good guys, and Freddie Burns. Good guys to listen to, man. You catch Freddie Burns after every pre and post Eagles game. So give those guys a shout and give them a like too.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for guys, and
Go Birds.
We'll check you next time.
Subscribe.